NERDSoul.
Yeah. Lay ill kid at OneYoungsta holding it down, bringing you that StreetGeek and NERDSoul, and this is Black Together. I said Black Together. Alright, so check it. This is Black Together, but also with a little bit of a movie review. Alright, and today we're going to be talking about Prey. We only got a couple things to say. We ain't going to hold y'all all day long. Now, if you are someone who believes that Prey is the second coming of Predator films, if you are someone who believes that this movie is incredible and it is a masterpiece and should not be critiqued in any way, please leave. All right, please leave, because I know your feelings is close and it's tight and y'all loving it. And if you really, really love it, then you really, really need to leave. So, you know what? We're gonna start on something nice and easy. Lady Lisa, when it comes to Prey, in general, how do you like the film?
I ain't like it.
All right.
Hated it.
I think it's like middling, below eyed. Like I never want to watch this film again. Nothing about this movie made me to want to watch again. Now, people are gonna be like, "Why, man? Yo, didn't you see the Predator? Predator looked hot. Yo, the Predator was doing Predator things, Predatizing. You know what I'm saying? Out there doing what Predators do. All right, yo, didn't you see the colonizers? Man, they got Predated. All right, yo, didn't you see that? Yo, did you see how beautiful the landscapes and everything? Yo, didn't you see the Comanche people and all that?" And I'll be like, "Man, yeah, I did. Actually, it was nice. It was well shot. I think the beauty was shown on screen. I like the effects." My issue with this movie comes in with Naru. Now, let me go on and let it be known. You know what? Do I really need to be like, I'm not sexist and go down this whole line of like, I ain't sexist? Like, look, I don't care enough. All right, look, the bottom line is, Naru is the film's problem. Not the woman who plays her, the character. The way the character is written is the whole problem.
Well, the thing is, she's not a problem by herself. The way everybody handles her is the problem too.
Yeah, because she's in a village. All right, so she's in a village that's like, "Hey, we need you to go do this."
Right.
And then she doesn't go do this, and there's no consequence for not going to do that.
Right.
And in villages, you know good and well there would be a consequence for not going to do. In this case, they wanted her to go and pick the bread root.
Right. Everybody has a role.
Yep.
And don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I know a whole bunch about how, native life is or whatever, but I get the gist of the community of a village, right? And it's this is the thing. There were a couple scenes, at least twice, where they showed her picking up her stuff, going wherever it is she wanted to go, despite somebody telling her to do something else, or despite the fact that she knew she wasn't supposed to be doing it. And it was two scenes I remember where all of the women were, heading into the village to do whatever it was they were supposed to be doing that day.
Oh yeah, because they were going to get the bread root and the flowers and the medicine and all that stuff.
Yeah,
and she was walking the other way.
Yeah, they were coming into the village. She was heading out of the village, and I feel like they showed that to show her defiance. And if I almost got the feeling she felt like she was too good to do what would be deemed as woman's work, because it seemed like it was very traditional. The women filled these certain roles and the men filled these other roles. They were hunters, and the women would prepare what they brought back and whatever else they were told to do. And it's like they showed that to show that she's not like them, and she's really a hunter and all. And it's like, the thing is, that would be fine, but you're going against what you were asked to do. There was no sitting down and saying, "Hey, I want to do X, Y, and Z." It was like, no, you were told to do something, you said okay, but you didn't go and do it. And you're putting yourself in situations where you're not communicating with the village. You're just going off for like the day, which you can't just do, because then it's assumed that you're in danger or something is wrong, right? Because you can't call them about a cell phone and be like, yeah, I'm out just hanging out at the river. You know,
I'm just hanging out with my dog.
So then they have to send a team to come and look for you, and they had things to do that day.
Thank you.
There were duties that they had to fulfill, but now somebody else got to do double duty that's left, because they have to now come and look for you.
Now peep this. It's the level of insecurity that she has about her hunting skills or abilities or whatever. And no one in the village says like, yo, you can't hunt, you whack, whatever. Nobody says. She takes this on herself. Nobody is even thinking about her like that. Right. And then she's selfish because look, peep this. Now the village has to use resources to find you when they could be doing other things. Now peep this. The predator is out there across the ridge. Now, one of the villagers, one of the men, are killed by a lion, and she's able to kind of like come up with a plan to like trap the lion, kind of like bait the lion in and stuff. And the lion comes, kills one dude, but she's able to stab the lion, and but she falls, she bumps her head, and but they kill the lion though. The lion gets killed. Her brother kills the lion, and everything is okay because even though one dude gets killed, but at least she's okay. The village is okay. They do get the lion. So when they come back, the village is like, oh, hey, we got the lion, y'all stopped the lion and stuff, and they're like kind of like congratulating her brother because her brother is the one that killed the lion. Even though she made up the plan, which was cool, he's the one who, like he said, you have to bring it home, and she didn't bring it home. She didn't get the job done. Now, when we're watching this scene, all you see in her eyes is contempt for her brother that had to carry her unconscious butt all the way home and then go back out and kill this lion and then come back.
Right.
And look, they ain't got no cars, bruh. And you ain't see them on no horses. So he had to walk. All right?
No, wow.
He had to walk.
W-A-W-L-K. Wow.
He had to carry your butt all the way, your unconscious self, and your tools, all the way back home. Then turn around, go all the way back, then re-find the lion. Yeah, I said it. Had to re-find the lion and kill the lion. And now all you got is contempt. And like Lady Lisa was saying, you could be proud or happy for your brother in this moment, but you're not. You're so insecure, you're so arrogant, you're so narcissistic that all you can think is, that should be my prize. At least that's what they had in her eyes. At least what I got from that scene was that she was angry that it wasn't hers. Yeah. And it's like, but you could be like, well, Dad, thank God I can be angry right now because I could be dead. But my brother brought me back. But, okay, cool, fine. So she's like, hey, there's big tracks. There's something out here. It's something bigger than a bear. And of course, we, the viewers, know it's the predator, right? So she's like, yo, we got to go find it. But the predator isn't around them no more. The predator has gone, has moved on to a whole nother place. And her brother's like, yo, it's not a danger. We've, surveyed the land or whatever. Everything's all good. Just chill. You know what I'm saying? And even her mother is talking about, even pictures her something else like, yo, you good with medicine. She made that point about her being good with medicine. Mm-hmm. And even the boy that got scratched with the lion or scratched by the lion, she put medicine on him because she know medicine stuff, right? Right. So like her mom was even like, yo, okay, you don't like breadroot. You can do the medicine stuff. You can do. But here's the thing. We already got someone doing something that you want to do. The role has been filled. Right. The role has been filled. That's like me going to a job, be like, yo, man, I want to be a manager. We got a manager. Well, I want to be a manager. Well, but we got a manager.
Yeah, and every time
I'm gonna be a manager.
Right, and every time they tell you to do something, they catch you doing managerial stuff.
Yeah, and it's like, but dude, we told you we got one manager.
We need somebody to stock the shelves. There's no one here to stock the shelves. It's like, oh, but I thought I could manage this. So who gonna stock the shelves?
And then the manager, then you mess up something that the other manager gotta fix for you, and then gotta come back, and then it's like, yo, bruh, the role is filled.
Do what I asked you to do.
Now, I know that this is written in a whole view of feminism and like, oh, this is woman, and nobody says that she cannot be a warrior. No one says that she can't be skilled to have karate skills and fighting, whatever. Nobody said that. What they said was, we need you to do this.
Right.
Great that you can fight. We glad that you can track. Her brother said you was a good her tracker. Her brother essentially, you said it. Mm-hmm. What is her brother?
Her cheerleader.
Thank you. The whole time her brother's like, yo, she can do this. Yo, she can do that. All this time. Even when other dudes is like, yo, man, why she out here getting in our way, doing stuff, messing stuff up? He like, nah, look, she know how to track. Or she got plans to bait the lion or whatever. He always holding her down.
Always.
And she ain't never hold him down once in the movie.
Nope.
All she did is create problems for the dude. And people never said, not once did we hear out of anyone's mouth say that you can't fight, you ain't got no skills, you ain't no good tracker. What they said was, what we need you to do.
Right.
Say if I go to my job and I'm like, hey man, I know how to juggle. They'd be like, well, yeah, that's good, but we need you to do this. And I'd be like, hey man, don't you know I make a mean omelet? They'd be like, well, yeah, that's cool, but we need you to do this. And again, now, if you want to make an omelet every now and then in the break room, cool, but we need you to do this.
And again, I have to go back to, the scenes where, they show her literally going against the women. When I say literally, meaning the women were all heading together to start doing whatever work they were doing and her heading out. And I know they did that for a reason. And it's like, so it's really her disrespecting the importance of the role of what they had the women do in the village. That's how I feel. She felt like she was better than that she was above that. And like she looked down on that, and it's like everybody's role is important.
Yeah, because if let's say all the women said, you know what, we rolling with you, Naru, then the village falls apart.
Right, exactly.
Because there's numerous roles that aren't being filled because that is what they do.
Exactly. So I just, and honestly, she could have been played by a male, and I would have said the same thing about you not doing what you were asked to do. But I feel like this was some cry for feminism by making her female.
Actually,
it's like, come on, y'all, like this is just,
what, she's just as bad as Poe Dameron in Star Wars The Last Jedi. When Leia tells her, I bring the crew back, and he don't bring the crew back, he decides to destroy the dreadnought. And she's like, yeah, you destroyed the dreadnought, but look at all these people that died to do that. When you could have just came back when I told you, dumb.
She got all those other men in the village killed.
Yes.
She got all of them killed.
So let's peep this. All right. So she goes out across the ridge looking for the predator. Now, I want to make a comment. Pull up the homie, what is it? Matt Jones, I think on Facebook. He made a comment. Matthew Jones made a comment saying, so we're not going to speak on how Naru and Prey caused the predator to come after her own people. He was minding his business, preditizing, and she came harassing him, which is true. Her brother was like, yo, don't go out beyond the ridge. Everything's cool. Leave everything alone, right? So anyway, she goes out beyond the ridge and makes, of course, because she's gone for over a day. And when I'm watching this, I'm like, well, what about the village? Ain't they worried about where she is? And we find that
ain't they worried about you, but ain't there stuff you're supposed to be doing? Everybody else is doing whatever work they're supposed to be doing to help the village thrive or whatever.
Yeah.
What you doing?
She out on a sabbatical. So now they gotta send people. Your brother has to send people to go find you. Because, of course, he cares about you, unlike you care about him. So he's worried. He's like, oh, man, my sister might be dead. She might be in danger, whatever. Yo, guys, y'all go out. So he sends 4 men. I think he sends 4 men out there after her.
I think it was
4 men. Now, when she's out there, she comes in contact with the predator, right? So when the 4 men come up on her, the predator, of course, sees them. Now, them not knowing what it is and knowing that it's it's some kind of threat, they go to attack it, and she got all those men killed. All right. Now, her brother then has to come out and find her.
Yep.
Her brother ends up dead.
Yep.
Now, let me break it back to the village. The village is now missing 5 men that could be working and providing their skills, abilities, and duty to their village, but now they're gone.
But you know what? They set it up to make it seem like she's better than them anyway. Because remember the scenes where she makes them look dumb. Like they're incompetent, they're dumb, they don't know how to do anything. So you mean to tell me that these men weren't able to take on the predator, but she was?
Bruh, okay.
By herself.
Now, this is an argument that Jason Reeves has an argument about the Predator as a series as a whole. Predator is supposed to be so dope, but he get beat in every movie. Now, in this case, yes, we got this girl. All right, so this girl is about 70 pounds soaking wet, but she whoops everybody. The homegirl took no L's. Basically, the only L she had is slipping on a ledge on an old tree. That's the only L she takes. She doesn't take any L's.
The bear couldn't even get her.
Yeah, the bear couldn't even. She outran the bear.
Come on, man.
So then another part that someone says that's interesting is talking about her response and her reaction to like people in general, saying Nico says she was also a sociopath who watched her brother die and did nothing but jumped to action for her dog, which is true, and probably just lets you know that this was written by white feminists, because white people be loving their dogs, bro.
There's nothing wrong with loving your dog.
Yo,
but it's
her brother, she let her. I was thinking that was going to be a perfect moment for them to double team the predator for her, back to back, fighting like Batman and Robin or something. But no, she just like stood there and watched him get killed.
Yeah, to put your life or other human life in danger in order to save your dog. It's kind of ridiculous to me. Now, if that's what you want to do with your life, that's whatever. But it's just annoying. It's just this whole thing was just so annoying. And it's like, this isn't. I know there's somebody somewhere going, yes, girl power. No.
Yo, she got 5 men that could have created children for the next generation of this village, but they're gone. Now, of course, at the end of the movie, she beats the predator. Of course, she beats the predator because that's what happens at the end of the movie.
By herself. That's the other thing. By herself.
She used mad Home Alone skills in the forest. But anyway, so she beats the predator, which is cool. Predator get beat at the end of every movie. So beats the predator at the end.
By a young teenage girl.
Well, no, usually they got some kind of skills, but I mean, she had skills. She was just.
But the insinuation
it's tough because she doesn't have the physical strength, but she was using traps and trick stuff too.
The insinuation is that a group of men from the village couldn't get, or young men, we'll even say boys, right?
Yeah.
We'll say a group of boys couldn't do this, but she could by herself.
Well, with her dog, give her dog some props.
Her dog ain't do nothing.
Didn't he bite him one time? No, he didn't. Did he bite him?
I don't.
Did the dog bite him? I can't remember. Maybe he did bite him.
I have no idea, but that.
No, the dog didn't bite him. That was the wolf that he was hunting.
Yeah.
The wolf bit him.
The dog ran away.
The dog ran away.
The dog was like, I don't know what this is.
Yo, so peep game. She comes back. All right, after she meet the French colonists and everything. She comes back. And she's carrying the predator's head like that's something to be proud of. It's like, look at the cost, girl.
Right. for you to prove something to yourself.
For you to prove something to yourself, because no one else cared. They knew you had skills. They just said, we need you to do something else. Great. Like I said, at my job, if I'm at my job and I'm like, hey man, do you know that I know how to repair bicycles? They'd be like, well, that's really cool, but we need you to do something else.
We don't need no bicycles repaired today.
Yeah, that's not what your job is. I mean, that's cool. I mean, maybe it'll come in handy sometime, but right now, we need you to do this. So she comes back bringing the head like, yeah, I did that. And then she's like, we need to move these people. There's French beyond the ridge or whatever like that. Actually, no, you don't need to move your people because they weren't coming over here. Mm-hmm. They were there to trap the predator, which actually is a more interesting story of how did they know what the predator was and where the predator was, and even how to try to set up a trap for it. That's a whole nother story, which I mean, I guess an earlier predator had landed in France and maybe they were tracking it. I don't know. That's a whole nother interesting story. But anyway, she's like, we need to move our people to a safer place. No, they were in a safe place. The French were not looking for y'all. They were not coming across the ridge. They had found and already set up a trap for the predator. So they weren't looking for you. So you actually did not provide any special information to them that was actually necessary. It just made you feel good. And the funny thing is, people are like, they give her the war chief stick. It's like a very, it's like a ceremonial, like you are the war chief now, right? So they make her the war chief and like everybody's like, yeah, cheering and stuff. And you see a little girl look at her and like smile. And I'm like, this is not the message because that girl has no idea that she got her older brother killed. You know what I'm saying? No. Now, I mean, of course, we don't know if that character was one of the younger sisters. But what I mean is, in generality, she got 5 men killed in the village. That's a small village. How many other men do they have of mating age to continue the line and the legacy of this tribe, of this village? Dum-dum. But you don't think. Because it's all about you. She is a menace to her village. And the funny thing is, they made her the war chief. The very next thing that happened, she gonna fail. It's like, the girl learned nothing because she never learned about a war chief is supposed to care and look after the village. I don't care what predator you killed. I can't give you this title. I can't give you this helm. I can't give you this seat because you don't care about the village. You don't. You ran off and did whatever you did, and you made us expend resources to find you, which we lost, and you come back proud with the head of a predator. Like, we're supposed to be excited about that.
Well, they were.
Well, I mean, they were for the movie, but someone says in the comments, they're like, the movie is all right, but the more you ask questions, the worse it gets. Like, I can't remember who said it, but someone said, Tyree said, the movie kind of gets worse the more you think about it, but it's okay. Look. If you like it, good for you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I think they did a disservice to our main character. I think she could have still been written in a dope way, where she was a woman that was a warrior,
yes. and working together with the other warriors.
Thank you.
Yeah, proving herself to be an asset and not a burden.
You see the warriors. You see the warrior women of Wakanda? Did you see them disrespecting and leaving and all that stuff when it came to T'Challa? No, they worked together as a unit, and they respected each other and they communicated with each other.
And did you see any men trying to infiltrate the Dora Milaje, knowing that it was an all-female?
Nope. Yeah, you never see this working the other way. We never see movies where there's a man like, yo, man, look, we in the village, but I just want to go get flowers. No, because they're like, no, you can't pick no flowers, bruh. You got to get out there and make sure there ain't no predators on our land, and not predator, but predator like lions and bears and stuff like that.
I mean, it would have been so much better if she had become a part of the team, and again, like I said, proved herself, competent as they are, instead of trying to make them, or as the movie did, to make them look incompetent. Right.
The funny thing is,
if she was part of that team, and she was like, hey, I'm just as good as you all are, and prove that, and then things change and say, okay, she's not as much of an asset going to get supplies for medicine. She's more of an asset being a warrior. That's great. But no, it had to be a trade-off. In order for her to be a warrior, the men had to be incompetent and dumb.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, they take up people that are working in a village in a way that seems to be, community, unity, tribal in
traditional
nature,
roles,
where they work together as a team to make sure that the village works. But now all of a sudden they've changed it to where, nah, man, this is a one-man show. And what I mean by one-man show is just one human being. It has nothing me calling a woman a man. Or, you know what I mean? No, because somebody stupid gonna come in here and be trying to get smart. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you made it a singular thing when their whole culture is a unity thing.
Yeah.
At least the way they presented it at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
So, yeah, y'all. Yo, look, that's what it is. That's where we at. You know what I'm saying? So please feel free to holler at us down below. You got something to say?
I just know it's gonna be a whole lot of foolishness, but I said what I said.
Alright, say peace.
Bye, y'all.
Love all y'all. NERDSoul. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, podcast, all that jazz. See y'all.